This is day 262 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. Today we are doing Siman Kuf Pei Sif Dalet till Siman Kuf Pei Aleph Sif Vav. And I'll bring us almost to the end, which is tomorrow, of Hilchos Suda. If you would like to sponsor upcoming Shiva Arukh HaShulchan OC or more, please contact me directly. It would be greatly appreciated. That'll be Meir Chachmei Talmud. In days of the Gemara, Shumasakim Shulchanos Akos Meifnei Mesubim, where they used to remove the small tables from in front of people who were assembled, before they washed, and they would wash in the place where the tables were. They would have to sweep the floor of the house in the place where the tables were before they washed. There shouldn't be pieces of bread left on the floor. They will become disgusting from the borders of my Kohanim. Because you're allowed to destroy crumbs that you have less than kazais. We're afraid that the person who comes to clear them will be an amoritz. Because one is allowed to use a shamash who's an amoritz. And when he's going to remove the bread from the tables, he's going to leave bread even the size of kazais on the table. And then they're going to fall off the table. They move the table from there. They're going to become disgusting with the waters washed over them. Therefore, he has to sweep the floor first. I've got it slated about Bayash. We don't move the tables. And we wash our hands, place where we're not going to find any crumbs. Because when we wash our hands on the table in a vessel, we're careful we're careful the water doesn't fall on the table tablecloth. Therefore, of course, we won't touch the food. As opposed to where they wash, they wash with a vessel on the ground. Yes, the vessel is on the ground. They're not so accurate that they're going to aim and not hit the floor. That's our best. We don't have to sweep the floor first. The Mishnah Berurah says that the din is that you have to clean the table now from the crumbs. Nevertheless, you should leave bread in one corner until after benching, and it should be a little bit distant from the place of my macaroni. Curious to admit that those people who wash very small amount of my macaroni, I don't think you have to be chayshish, maybe according to the Gra. We'll see that all in the next simon. That which you're allowed to destroy crumbs which are not besides the size of zayis. Put them into water or fire. Can't throw them in a place where people are going to step on them. Because it can bring about poverty. When we degrade bread by stepping on it. Can be even a piece of bread. And he says in the brackets, Bach says even nowadays you have to sweep before we wash. Because some people, I guess, wash in front of the table, not on the table. He says, person I wrote, there's no issue with this, and that's not the minhag. And we only the tablecloth where you're going to wash. Some of the Mishnah Berurah, you clean a little bit. Mishnah Berurah says, interestingly enough, that some people machmed, and when there are a lot of pirurim and a lot of crumbs which could be mitzdareb to gazayis, that you should not destroy them. In other words, it's going to destroy pirurim which not some, the total of them is as gazayis. But if you clump them up and put it in the gazayis, then it'll be a problem. Hey, the custom is to cover a sharp knife, I think, obviously. At the time because it has become momentarily clear. Shabbos Yontav lo nagu b'chasos, but not on Shabbos and Yontav. At the time, he's on Fisha Shulchan Demel Mizbeach. At the table is like a Mizbeach. Mizbeach see blood and ifal barzel. It says, do not use knives to cut them. Because metal cuts short life of a person, and the Mizbeach lengthens the life of a person, but it's appropriate that which shortens should be wielded against that which extends. So the tables cause us to have length of days and atone for our sins through our achnasas orchim. And the metal is the power of Esau. Where there is no Satan and no nothing harmful. You don't Torah is you don't need to cover the knives on Shabbos Yontif. Furthermore, they also said time there's this another reason to cover the knives because the Maisa was in Tzadik Shomer of Bnei Yerushalayim v'chulei. He said that parabenching is Tarmo Chumra Beis Hamikdash. He was so in anguish of the Shchor Beis Hamikdash. V'kacha Sakin Baragas, that's when he took the knife and killed himself. If I get anything near that type of tzar of the Churban. V'chein Gazur al Zeh, never they made a decree on that. V'lo Gazur b'Shabbos Yontif. Now make such a decree on Shabbos Yontif, the Maisa Kiyava b'Cholava. Because that which happened was on a weekday. V'lo Gazur Akin Maisa Shoyim. We only make a principle of Gzeira like a Maisa as the original Maisa took place. Coming in Shabbos time, the Musuma only made a Gzeira not to wear a studded sandal on Shabbos because of the story which happened when the people trampled each other to death in a cave. Shabbos Yontif also leads star. Furthermore, Shabbos Yontif you're not allowed to have anguish. If you have Shabbos Yontif, we had the capacity to turn off our anguish in Shabbos Yontif. And you can't come to such a, we're not come to such a pass. That actually, now people are not meticulous about this. Although I've seen people that aren't meticulous about this, but he says there are people that are not meticulous, and they don't cover their knives at the time of benching. The Shmuel does not say that people are not nizar b'zman hazeh. There could be people aren't nizar, and they want people not to be nizar. In any event, same kufay the mayim achronim. The laws of mayim achronim. Kasav Ramsel Perek Vav table of mayim achronim bears the you should bench immediately after washing mayim achronim. The last thing you should not interrupt between washing and washing mayim achronim and benching with anything else. Even the water after mayim achronim is not permitted until after benching. Ad kan l'shalom. Klosha is that kosvatur v'shorasi mekufay tes chenkos Rashi brachas. The technical Tiyasayim, the mayim achronim, immediately after the Tiyasayim achronim should come. The bracha b'chas mazam le'echal klum. You should not eat anything until you make the bracha ad kan l'shalom. Because the masha of the rak of sibach l'yoshasi asur. But this it sounds like only eating and drinking are hefsek. Avol dibur lo have a hefsek. But the talking is not a problem. I feel like thus it would be that even according to those who are between washing at the beginning of the meal and amotzi it's forbidden to interrupt with speech. By the time nearly it seems to me the reason is the hefsek dibur lo shayach el b'makom sheish bracha. The interruption with talking is only relevant to a place where there's a bracha. The tzarech lasmicha bracha maasen. You have to make the bracha juxtaposed to the action. My lega bracha. My there is no bracha. My mishayin kavu chacham shlafsik ben berachas amontias ben berachas amotzi. So therefore, by my mishayin the chasal determined not to interrupt between tilas dayin bar motzi. Ava my machonim mashach hefsek b'dibur. My machonim where there's no bracha to deal with. Why is your problem with speaking? Vishlamach ilushisi also and eating and drinking is understand the also. Shem the asli berachas hamotzi achanatila because the berachas hamotzi is terminated. So it's mostly what you're learning till now. Why should you not allowed to speak? It's brackets among everyone reason combine this talk about Yosef and Sham. Pretty much because it's all the Rabbi Yosef Tzolkim. They see on kosher bracha, but see on kubei big gimel. Should cover a kosher below mishum hefsek. That which you don't talk when you're holding the kosher bracha is because of the cover of the kosher, not because of it being a hefsek. Nonetheless, I believe that al pi Kabbalah, if I recall correctly, we are machmir, or many of us are machmir, not to speak after my machronim. And in fact, the Mishnah Berurah, first of all, says there's no isser to eat even if you wash your hands. But if you complete where Mesiach Das, you have to make a motzi and wash your hands in machronim later on. So the chadchil it's best not to eat anything after my machronim. if you we said before in an earlier simon that Manazeh might not be so much that Ma'achronim is a definitive termination of the meal, but it's best regarded as a termination. Mishabura says the Chavchilu should not even interrupt with talk, not like Mizmor Machal Mishabura, and not even with the Torah. And also, you should not spend a long time, like more than Kedei Hiluch Arba Amos, of course, where it's feasible. You certainly should not get involved in some matter. But if you have to stop for something which is urgent, or b'diavad, if you did interrupt, wash again. Base. My acronym Somkor Rabban Akro B'Sol Perek El Dvarim. My acronym is linked to the pasuk which says V'Tzkadashtem V'Yikra Chav Elu Mayim Rishonim. Those are waters before the meal. We say in Kedoshim, and my acronym those are waters after the Ayin Sham. V'Chmir by my acronym Yosem Rishonim. They were more machmir by my acronym. My Rishonim. They were machmir that parchu my Rishonim. When one is in an army camp, they exempt you from my Rishonim, but not from my Machronim. Use the Perkasot Perkam the Arabin, Ayin Sham. My Rishonim mitzvah. Say the first water before the meal is optional. My Machronim after the Chov is mandatory. When they sheish by milstones because this sodomite salt, Shem which blinds the eyes. There's danger if you don't wash your hands. Because it's dangerous. Lo tiknu bracha. They also make a bracha because it's more because of the sakana as opposed to because of the mitzvah. Gimel v'apisa kosher Rabbi Sein Bali Ataisis v'Rabbi Matur dachshav lo nugum b'may cholim neishein ma'as nomis motzim b'neinu. We're not machim b'cholim because we don't have sodomite salt prevalent among us. If that's how can you say that's the only reason and that's why you don't do it? They came Masha Kedusha b'zeh. Why would they call it Kadosh? The Dashinim Mirisim Kadoshim. It's only because of danger. The reason for danger is an additional reason. Besides the Kedusha Mitzvah, Kedusha Lavir and Sulam Amiyadayim, and the Kedusha is to remove the pollution from the hands. Shem Zuamos Me'achila. They are disgusting from the from what a person has eaten during the meal, and they can be dirty. In other words, diamonds knows bracha, and the dirty hands are possible for a bracha. You may not make a bracha with dirty hands. They also said the name of the Goyen that usually it's Rav that when you have to mention the name because Baruch Hu happens to us a mitzvah, then the watch comes a mitzvah mishum kedusha necessary for the bracha. Musubim whom rak mishum sakana. Interesting enough that if one is motzi everybody, so only he would have to wash ma'achronim in that case, and everybody else would not have to wash ma'achronim except because it's sakana ayin sham. And now he brings down brackets the famous Gra. The Gra holds that the famous sheet of the Gra, although it's here to not put them precisely that way, that Chazal have many reasons for things that they decreed, and therefore, even if one of the reasons not apply, the Tatanos Chazal is not batel. And here he says specifically, it's in addition to the mitzvah. Dalit, ach im kein lama in that sakon is an additional mitzvah. Dalit, ach im kein lama in varchim k'mal mar rishonim. So marav shach says Arukh HaShulchan. So that's the case. Why don't we make a bracha? But that's right. Vav b'MSK. Who should tzichin bracha? Rabbi says you do your bracha ma'achronim because it's a shame. Shimusha agoinim. Right, his name is some source in the goinim. Should say bracha Arukh HaShulchan yadayim. Make a new bracha called Arukh HaShulchan yadayim. Find some shemachak ben shachal davar sheish bo zuama. He distinguishes between something where there is pollution, such as meat and fish, and moist stuff, does tone bracha. That requires a bracha. And then when you eat dry stuff, the answer bracha, since they're not so polluting, you don't need a bracha. Everybody else says in unison, there is no bracha. So he has here a major chiddush Arukh HaShulchan. Just like all food in the meal is exempt, the bracha until sedayim all charitz chitza shebasuda. The bracha until sedayim the beginning of the meal works for all the washing. Mayim mitzayim if you need mayim mitzayim and mayim rechonim. But according to that's a question of bracha at all, because only because it's zakana. So Ram Shita explicitly, there's no brachas and no sakana, Kal Shana. But it's like Shita Satoisis. Obviously, Ramos are Toisis. So what about this pasuk of Yisim Kedoshim? Ashkasal link the pasuk, you know the Remes Bama. It's only a hint, an illusion. Less than an asmachlim. Should they can be, they learn Mizrais, it's just that there's nothing which is not hinted at in the Torah. Right, says Shari Vidori Sham Ki Kadosh, and the proof of that is that it says there Kadoshim is Shkadashim Yisem Kadosh Ki Kadosh Ani, right? And Ki Kadosh, Chazal say Zeshemen Shu Sakin Bahem Seyadayim Lachem Mayim Achronim. This is oil which you know hands after Mayim Achronim. Zebad Elechachiyuv. There's no such obligation. The Lois Pashakon this Takana never became widespread. El Kadamran, so it's just a hint. So that's on a tour. In tour writes about Taisus Kosmu. Klule became a Shayno Sin Kamosha, a Shayno Sin Kamosha on Rapasu, Ki Kodash needs a Shaman or Gabe. Since you don't like this Pasuk, we don't use oil. Fragrant oils, commented Lo Nalgu. So to the washing, they're not being accustomed. But because you done, your dime is almost. Why is it not called polluted hands? For us, came a Shayno Regumi Toe, because we don't normally wash. But us slightly dirty hands are not something a thing. They're not a matter of kaveda. Something sensitive. We told you that is accustomed to washing his hands after a meal. They do the diamonds almost. For him, it's disgusting hands. Certainly, gotta wash before benching. No bracha. But a sensitive person, I feel wrote the bracha on yain, and even he wants to make a bracha on wine. The other muchachos in his hands are dirty. So kind of kohen has got to make a clean them first. Yes, hey, you know show the dino. My machonim. Lehalacha by my machonim today. Lo mi boy shitas kamera saying shemikra dina yesh chiyuv gam as man azek moshe b'yarnu. Not just according to the sources who hold that there's an obligation even today, like we explained. People shoot us at twice, but even when it doesn't like a chib as man as there's no obligation, are they? Ain't safek shekasu came today lamed schus. I'm not sure going to be any. He only wrote this as the limud schus, not for us yekas who don't wash my machronim, but for those the limud schus. Actually, I started washing my machronim when I went after high school to Shalvim, and saw lots of people wash my machronim, and I learned the sugya. Since then I wash my machronim, although my kids who are more yekish do not. Okay, in any event, so okay, he says the government saying about Taisvis, modem should tzark gamas manazem, but the Taisvis also concede. You have to ask also bizanazem. The me mention Melstone saying motzi gamatzu. I know there's no sodomite salt today. Really, it seems to be the melech me mea yom sea salt. Yesh chashash Melstone would be there side consist or have components of sodomite salt. Says because the achshav lekam Melstone is that which they said in places there is no sodomite. So they should be nasam in their lands who oichlemim balach shechaitzim barim. They would eat quarried salt. Kamatosham kenu. That's the way it is in France today, I guess. I've been saying about in our countries harbei oshochlimi melach hamayim. That many people eat sea salt. Here's the chashash Melstone, and he says this might be like sodomite salt, which of course comes from the Dead Sea. The Gamazar Pinchas he's here as the Zohar says Shwash Ma'achronim, Chom Kabbalah Mirzel Zel, the Kabbalah says Shwash Ma'achronim, Shus Mir Shamayim Lechem Kamonim, and Shus Mir Shamayim, famous sefer from the Rishonim, where he put questions under his pillow at night, and the answers would be put on that paper in the morning. Before it says you can make a Ma'achronim, Mekilu Lom is the Rosim Mir Shamayim. Everybody's leading the Ma'achronim. His food is they're leaning with issuing him food. Oh, they should be very careful about this. And all girls who got fear have a custom. Says here, Libnei Beso, she is Arubazeh. Any Baba should warn his members of his house to be careful about this. And guess what he doesn't say? He doesn't say the women are exempt. Okay. Vav, if you don't have water for my Rishayim Achronim, Rishayim Adifei. It's better using my Rishayim. Came the Achronim Yeshim Kilim because it's part because found out that some people make up on my Achronim. Come on, let's be Shabbos B'Sudah Shniya. Let's say it's Shabbos second meal afternoon. She told my Achronim, though my Rishayim B'Sudah Shlishis, and you don't have, you're going to wash my achronim, you don't have water for Suda Shlishis, look at this. Bevatel Suda Shlishis. Wow. You cancel the washing to Suda Shlishis. The Bevatel Achronim. The wash your hands by Achronim. Came with Shkan Nisbayaba. Nischayba, because you're liable my Achronim. Here's your kosher bracha, Mosgin HaKos. If you have a kosher bracha on the table, Mosgin HaKos. First you call the cup, Akach Noflim Yadayim, my Achronim. Then afterwards you wash my Achronim. Mishabur writes that if you have very little water, you have to diminish the amount of water used for my Mishanim in order that a little bit should remain for my Achronim. If you only have precisely the amount of my Mishanim, then they take precedence. Some people say a person should not eat unless he knows he's going to have my Achronim at the end. And if then within 4 meals in front of him or a meal behind him, there's no water, then he's allowed to eat even without my Achronim. But anytime he finds water, subsequently he should wash off his hands, even if his hands are benching, after benching, because of the problem of melstomas. In such a case where he knows that he's not going to have water for my machronim, interestingly, you should wrap your hands in a cloth before you eat. I guess to not get sodomite salt on the hands, so you just remove the cloth before benching.